Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Thursday. Before we get into today's video, just a super quick disclaimer. If you happen to see tears falling out of my left eyeball, I am not sad. I'm actually having a pretty darn good day. This eyeball, my left eyeball, keeps watering. It's driving me insane. I am almost very, very close to making an appointment with an ophthalmologist to have it like looked at, because this has kind of been a thing for like a couple of months now. So I have tried using like moisturizing eye drops because I heard it could be related to just having dry eyes, but my eyes don't feel dry. Like I feel like they're nicely lubricated. I don't know, does anybody else deal with this? Like, do you just have one watery eyeball? So annoying. Anyway, I have some first sniff impressions for you guys today because Kringle just released another round of reserve candles. So the reserve candles are a little bit different from the candles in the regular soy line. They use what they call premium fragrance oils in these, and obviously they come in a different color jar. The intention with these are that they, again, use the nicer fragrance oils, and the scents are maybe a little bit more complex, maybe a little bit more unique than what they would carry just in their regular, you know, like seasonal lines or year-round lines. So there are a lot of fragrances that I have kind of fallen in love with from the Reserve line, especially with the last drop. And before you ask, when are they coming back? I don't know. I am not sure. The ambassadors have not been given a date yet in terms of the Reserve candles like Jelly Donut, Macaron, Dalgona, Juicy Strawberry. We have not received information as to when those are going to be re-released. As soon as I find out, I promise I will let you guys know. I will put a little blurb out here on my community tab on my channel. I will also let people know over on Instagram as well. So, you know, make sure you're following me both places, and I'll be able to let you know just as soon as I hear anything at all from Kringle. So, but yeah, we don't know yet when these are going to be released. So there are a total of 5 new fragrances that dropped today. Kringle was kind enough to send the ambassadors 3 of the fragrances. So I'm gonna go through the 3 that they sent me, but I very quickly want to run through the other ones that they did not send out. In fact, the one that I was like super determined to purchase, the Vanilla Rose Cone, already sold out. I was a little bit annoyed because, so I get up pretty early to get Stella ready to go to school and stuff. And by the time that I had gotten up on the West Coast to get Stella off to school, the candle had already sold out. So big bummer for me. But again, my hope is that like most of you who missed out on a lot of the other fragrances like the Jelly Donut, the Macarons, all of that kind of stuff, I'm hoping that these are potentially re-released as well. I'm assuming that because it sold out so quickly, like it's an absolutely incredible scent. I'm gonna go through the fragrance notes of the Vanilla Rose Cone really quickly. So the notes in here are citrus accord, apple blossom, sheer rose. The base on this one is vanilla, waffle cone, and sandalwood. I just thought that sounded really unique. I love the idea of mixing a floral with a more like sweet gourmand type note. So super bummed I missed out on that. But like I said, if it happens to come back into stock like the other fragrances that are supposed to, I will definitely pick it up at that point then. The other one that was released that I did not receive was the Turquoise. And that one also kind of sounded a little bit interesting to me, so I might go ahead and pop this one into an order here in the next week or two if it's still available. I'm not really ready to place another Kringle order right now because I'm actually waiting to get my last order that I purchased. It was supposed to be here today, but I think it's actually going to be delivered tomorrow. So the Turquoise, the notes are apple blossom, white peach, and raspberry. Cyclamen petals, freesia, Dancing Wildflowers, and then the base on that one is Pear Peel, Sandalwood, and Amber. And yes, you are hearing Alf snoring. He is right underneath the camera here. He has not been feeling his best, so he's kind of sticking close by Mama's side, and I'm gonna let him do it. I'm totally fine with him snoring in my videos. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take you through now some first sniff impressions of the fragrances that they were kind enough to send to me as an ambassador. So I did not pay for these, full disclosure, all opinions are still my own. And I gotta admit, you guys, these 3 scents, not in my wheelhouse. I will burn them, I will review them. Maybe they will grow on me once I light them, but on cold sniff, I'm not crazy drawn to these particular fragrances. So take that with a grain of salt, because I think that personal fragrance tastes vary, obviously, from person to person. Just because I don't like the smell of this doesn't mean that you won't, so. Anyway, and also reverse, if I really love something, doesn't mean that you'll love it too, you know? Like, you might be like, ew, that's gross. Everyone has their own unique tastes, right? Okay, so Blue Orchid. Fragrant wild orchid is blanketed in a sophisticated richness of white amber resin, powdery musk, precious woods, and nectarious dark fruits. I have never seen nor used the words nectarious. I'm gonna assume it's a real word. All right, our top notes here are floral and citrus. The mid notes are floral, powder, and amber. And the base is wood, floral, and musk. Where are you at? There you are. Okay. I do love the label. I think orchids are a really beautiful flower. I'm a florist. I do not own any orchids because they're very high maintenance, and I'm just not here for that in my life anymore. So, but yeah, orchids, definitely a beautiful, more tropical floral for sure. So this one, it's not terrible, but it is a very fresh type of scent that I don't naturally gravitate towards. I do pick up the floral in here. And on cold, there is a slight soapy note that I smell in here. Almost like a zest soap, kind of like the literal Zest bar soap. I feel like I pick up like some of that in here. Not crazy intense, but it's definitely kind of in the background for me. So this one is very interesting in that respect. Definitely pick up some floral for sure. I pick up the musk. The muskiness actually comes through on cold sniff for me. The floral component in here is kind of interesting. Now, orchids to me don't have a crazy strong fragrance to them. So like, I don't think what I'm smelling here is orchids per se. It kind of just smells like a generic kind of soapy floral, if that makes sense. Powder. On cold sniff, I'm not getting much in the way of a powderiness from this one either. This is just a very interesting scent. I have a feeling that there is definitely going to be a group of people who like the more fresh scents that are really going to enjoy this one. Even if they may not necessarily always enjoy floral notes with their fresh scents. But this one is very interesting. It's a unique composition for sure. It is not the type of scent that I gravitate towards at all. I will burn it for you guys. I will review it. I'll tell you if it changes, if some of those other notes kind of become a little bit more prominent once I light this. But the kind of soapy note in here is a little bit of a turnoff for me personally. So anyway, that is Blue Orchid to my nose. Next, we're gonna go off to, let's see here. We are gonna do Crimson and Clover. And this one, I kind of like the label on here. It's a little psychedelic for sure. Sorry, my camera wants to like focus on my face. Very kind of fun, different type of label for sure. Now this one I actually enjoy, I think, the most out of the three. This one's just so interesting. It kind of smells like a perfume to me in a way. It comes across as a little bit perfumey, I think. Let's go ahead and read through their description. Okay, fresh off the vine. This fragrance features fruity notes of fig pulp and muddled berries, complemented by green clovers and dewy florals with a hint of velvet musk and sugared amber notes. So our top notes here are green clover, mission fig, and crimson berries. The mid notes are rosewater, gardenia, and sugar cane. The base is amber, velvet musk, and woody. I do pick up that fig in here. The fig, I think, adds a little bit of like an earthiness almost to this, but also a touch of sweetness. We also have the sugar cane in here, so that probably is where I'm getting that sweetness more so than the fig. I don't think of figs as like an overly sweet scent. When I think of a fig Newton, absolutely, but fig Newtons also have like a ton of sugar in them. But when you smell a fig, to me it smells a lot more like earthy, with just a touch of like an earthy sweetness versus like that sugary, really saturated saccharin sugar type note, right? Actually, the more I smell this, the more I kind of like it. I need to light this one up. There's also kind of a weird powder note that comes across to me on this one, and I'm not sure where that would be coming from. In terms of green clover, there is just a, I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it clover because it doesn't smell like grass per se, but it does come across as green, or, you know, like fresh outdoorsy kind of smell, like a fresh outdoorsy greenness, if you will. I do pick up some amber in here. The amber and the like velvet musk, I feel like adds some warmth to this scent, and I feel like the fig kind of needs that because on its own, I don't really like fig as a fragrance, but when it's paired with some other supporting notes, I think it's a lot more enjoyable. And I really do think that the amber and that velvety musk note that's in here helps to make that fig a lot more palatable to my nose. Crimson berries, I don't know about that. Maybe rosewater, I can see a touch of rosewater for sure. I'm really straining to smell that floral gardenia note. Gardenia to me is quite a potent or intense floral note typically. And it's really not popping out to me, which is interesting because I can normally smell a gardenia something from like a mile away, whether it's the flower itself or whether it's a perfume that has gardenia in it or a candle. I can usually detect that right away, but I cannot smell it on cold sniff. So I'll be curious to see if it comes out once this is burning. But the more I smell this, the more I think I actually could really enjoy this one. It is certainly different from anything else that I normally gravitate towards. Do I think that I would have purchased this one, however? Just reading the scent notes, I don't know that I would have purchased it. This is why I appreciate when I receive PR from companies, because quite frequently they send things that either maybe they know that I wouldn't purchase on my own, or, you know, a lot of times I'm sure it's just random what they send out. But I kind of like that because sometimes I receive things that I would never spend my own money on. But when I get them, I'm like, oh, actually, that's really nice. And then I go back and repurchase on my own afterwards. So that has happened multiple times. That has happened with Homeworx. It's happened with Kringle, where I've gotten things where I'm just like, ugh. But then once I stick my nose in there and really get a good sniff, or I light it up, I'm like, oh wow, this is actually an amazing scent. Like the #1 example that always pops into my head is Sanctuary from Kringle. I don't think that I would have necessarily picked that one up at all, but they sent it in PR and I fell in love with it. Purchased so many of the wax melts. I think I still have some of the wax melts left that I'm gonna save for this upcoming fall and winter. But oh man, I just, you know, I think it's nice to receive PR because it allows me to share things with you guys that I probably would never think to purchase otherwise. So, all right, you guys, let's check out this last one. This one here is Herbs and Spice. Normally, herbal fragrances are not a huge like or love of mine. And this one, I think if you like those herbal scents, I think this is going to be right up your alley. But for me, this one's tough. There is almost a slight, it's very slight, it's not super prominent, but there on cold sniff there's a little bit of like a licorice that comes through. And if there's anything that I hate, it's a like black licorice note. And I kind of smell it on cold sniff, so I'm worried that it's going to come out a little bit more. But let's go ahead and read through this. A sophisticated fusion of peppered rosemary and a hint of Ceylon cinnamon dashed over botanical herbs, green fig, and aromatic white cedar. Oh, that cedar is like, that's the other thing that I think I'm smelling. Yeah. Okay, top notes. Herbal, bergamot, and black pepper. Mid notes are spice and rosemary, and the base is fruit, amber, and wood. That's a lot of stuff. This is quite complex. I will say I can smell the pepper in here for sure. Herbal, yeah. Oddly enough, the Ceylon cinnamon, I do not smell on cold sniff. I really don't. Pepper, yeah. And still, like, there is no, sometimes anise can smell, like star anise, can smell like a little bit licoricey to my nose. And maybe the spice that's in here contains a little bit of that star anise, because I definitely, something is screaming licorice to me here. And I don't want to imply that it's like the only note that's in here. There's a lot going on here. There's a number of like very strong herbal and spicy notes in here. I just, like, I would never dream to put all of these different notes. This is why I think people that like create candles are so interesting. Like, they really have to have like the ability to think outside of their own likes and dislikes and come up with things that are unique and different. Like, I couldn't do it. I could never, if I were to have like my own candle brand, it would just be gourmands and fruits, because I feel like I'm very comfortable with that. And I think I know that really well, but I would never be able to really produce florals probably, or fresh scents or green scents. I feel like I would really struggle with that. But someone really took their time with this one and took a lot of kind of unique elements and put them together, and it does work. Like, it works as a fragrance for sure. It's just not the type of fragrance that I personally gravitate towards. However, if you are a lover of the herbal, if you like those peppery notes, you're gonna like this. If you like those spicy notes, you're gonna like this. It's almost one that I think you have to smell in order to really appreciate it for sure. So yeah, and that's hard because obviously, you know, Kringle candles they're not readily available in stores. And so you're kind of taking a chance when you're ordering. And sometimes you may get something where you're just like, oh, I don't know about this. I do wish that there was an opportunity to be able to smell these reserve candles in the daylight format. I would even be willing to pay a little bit more for a reserve daylight. But the thing is, these are usually released in such limited quantities that like they sell out rather quickly, as we have seen, and then it takes a while for them to be restocked. So I don't know. I think it would be neat if they could send out fragrance cards in advance of the release. Actually, Mick was talking about this on his last live stream with Brett, talking about being able to purchase. I don't think they could do something like this for free, because it would be a friggin' nightmare with people that would just, you know, like bots that would order the samples and stuff. But ordering little fragrance cards and then, you know, maybe paying like $5 for like a stack of like 10 fragrance cards or something to be able to smell the fragrances. But then you also get a coupon included for like $5 off your purchase, for example. So even though you are paying for the like fragrance sample cards, you're then receiving a coupon to go back and to put that towards the purchase of, you know, if there's like one scent that you really love out of that whole bundle of sample cards, you can then get $5 off your order, if that makes sense. I think that that would be a really smart thing to do, but I think they would have to do it in a way where you could order those in advance of the release, like I said, so that you kind of knew when everything was coming out, whether you really wanted it or not. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the 3 that were sent to me. Again, I did not pay for these. If that vanilla rose cone comes back, I will definitely pick that up. I mean, that's something that I'm certainly interested in just smelling myself. But I don't think that I would probably repurchase any of these. I think the Crimson and Clover, I will enjoy the one that I have, but again, this is not like my normal go-to type of fragrance, so I don't think I'm going to be converted to liking that particular type of scent, if that makes sense. But I can appreciate some different fragrances. I think the older I get, the more likely I am to do that. Anyway, you guys, I will put links to where to get these in the description box down below. You can use the ambassador discount codes on these. They're not going to go on sale anytime soon. So 15% off is the max that you can get for right now. And I don't know how many quantities are available of each, but if there's one that you want, that you are really desperate to get your hands on, I don't know what the likelihood is of these 3 scents, for example, selling out, but I didn't expect the vanilla rose cone to be sold out when I woke up this morning. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess if you want to take a chance, take a chance. But if you want to pick these up, they are currently available as of today. And let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Is there anything that like grabbed your attention right away? Let me know down below in the comments. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.